my book was a person and this author's book was also a person and they were like high school students, my book would be that weird exchange student that nobody knows where it comes from, and this author's book would be like the popular kid who somehow also became the friend of this exchange student that no one understands. That's how relatable this book is. What's up, my fellow small business supporters? I am not Savvy, but today I'm going to review Savvy's book, Sculpt Yourself. If you have no idea who this person is, where have you been? Check out her channel, her link is going to be below. She's a fellow AuthorTuber. She's also a small business owner. She's also the founder of Forever Home Friends, rescue dogs. She has written books about rescue dogs. Yeah, check her out, she's awesome. Before I get too much talking about all the stuff that Savvy does, just go and check her out. Today I'm just going to talk about her book. Despite knowing Savvy as a fellow author-tuber, I always try to get best to give my honest opinion on books that I review. And this book had me a little hesitant, Yes, it has sci-fi elements in it. Yes, it's a book that has had positive reviews, but the topic of the book was something that I care very little about. Okay, I don't want to say that the topic of the book is not important, that's not what I mean, but have I mentioned that I'm partially blind? Yes, I have. I don't care about how people look on the outside. I really don't. There are moments where I might care a little bit, but for what I care, it's not that much for me to go into a book like this expecting to enjoy it, and more like, okay, it's an important read, I have to check it out, and I want to give support to the community. It was that kind of mentality, like, okay, I will see how it goes, because I'm sure it is something that I don't fully relate to. And I'm surprised to say, and this is why I'm talking about it right now, because my first star, as you know, in my rating, the first star is, can I put the book down? Did I put the book down? Did I want to put the book down? And guys, I read this thing in one sitting. Yes, it's a short book. Sure, it is. It is short. I'm not saying that, oh, I read 500 pages. No, it was what, 200 plus pages, 230, 50, I don't remember. But it's not a long book, yeah, okay, but I couldn't put it down. I finished it in less than a day, okay? There are books by fellow authors that I put down. There are books that I don't enjoy as much, long or short. And this one wasn't the case. Sure, I don't care so much about how people feel about their physical appearance and how they judge each other based on their looks, but okay, but the way in which she narrated this kept me turning the pages. It's a page turner, okay? I didn't want to put the book down, and by the way, there's an audiobook available, but I didn't have enough cash, so I went with the ebook, and I had to listen to The Robot, okay? And I didn't put it down. So it gets a full star just by the fact that I couldn't put it down. Now let's talk about characters. This book has 3 living ladies, 3 points of view. So Judy, Amber, and Kelly. And these 3 women are very different from each other. Judy is straight. Amber is a very feminist lesbian, like one of those that screw the patriarchy and no man is gonna tell me what to do, and I wear hoodies and whatever. Like, I don't care about my appearance, kinda. That's how I related with Amber, even though I'm not lesbian, but I related in the sense that she couldn't care less about her appearance and everyone else's appearance. Judy is Amber's sister. Judy has a little bit of overweight, and she does care very much about her appearance because she's not very confident in how she feels about herself.
Oh gods, being blind and filming with dogs around is not a good idea. They must have moved the table or the camera and I didn't realize. But anyway, you don't have to see me. Just listen to what I have to say about the book and admire the beautiful view.
And this is where the main plot thing comes because this book deals with the topic of a new drug that's introduced in the market. It's called lipomorph, and it changes your body appearance. Like, you can move the fat all over your body, and this is how women end up with perfect hourglass figures, and they can move the fat to their breast and their bum, and then they have perfect bodies. And yeah, it's crazy, but okay, it's an interesting concept. And Judy takes the drug, and Amber doesn't like it. And then we meet Kelly, who is a co-worker from Amber. They work in the same company, in the same building at least. Kelly works in the marketing department, and Amber works in the tech support. So they meet. And also, oh, by the way, did I mention Kelly is bisexual? Nice. There goes the representation. Well done, Savvy. I tried to find something that I could relate to with every character. With Kelly, I was like, maybe with her I will not find so many things to relate to. Kelly is an artist, so yeah, very relatable. She is one of those that works in marketing just so she can pay the bills and pay an apartment for her own. And then if she could live off her art, she would love to, then she would do it. That mentality of I just want to be by myself and do art and do stuff, you know, that was something where I found common ground with Kelly. With Amber, it was this I don't care about appearances and no man is going to tell me what to do kind of mentality. And with Judy, although I thought I wouldn't find anything relatable with Judy, it was this sense of down-to-earthness. And like, Judy works in a coffee shop and she's happy working in the coffee shop. She's happy with what she has. She's not asking for too much. And yep, that would totally be me. So I found something relatable with all the women in this, like the leading ladies in this story, which it's rare. Thinking how different they are from each other and how different they are from me. And this tells me that these three leading ladies were extremely relatable. I cannot give but a full star to the characters. There was no antagonist here, there was no villain, this was not that kind of story. So the three leading ladies get the whole star from me. 2 stars, count the stars. I loved it very much. Like, I enjoyed reading the story. I kept turning the pages. I wanted to know what happened next. I wanted to know how the 3 stories converged into one main plot concerning the lipomorph, the drug use, and the legalization of the drug and the consequences. It was great. Now let's talk about the structure. Great transition, kinda. Structure-wise, this book wasn't predictable. I like books that are not predictable. Books that I don't know what's coming next. And this book was one of them. Sure, this wasn't the case of another book that I reviewed that the story traveled everywhere around the world. That's more my jam. I am very honest, I am that kind of person who enjoys books that don't stay in one place. And this book pretty much stayed in Chicago, where I think Savvy is from Chicago, so she was like, it's a very localized story, very like home story. And you know what? I had no problem with that either. I thought that maybe I wouldn't enjoy it as much because we are always staying in one place. But what made it interesting, I think, is that we had 3 different perspectives in one place, and that made it different in a way. So it was still enjoyable. It wasn't just one person in one place the whole time. The whole time. I think the more I get into these books and the more I review books, I realize where my taste really lies, because I think that I like one thing and this other thing maybe I don't like it so much, and then I go into a thing that seems that thing that I don't like so much, and I end up liking it. So it's like the book itself, it's not so black and white, which I am so happy to find out myself. The structure kept me turning the pages. Everything kept turning the pages, like the characters, the structure, the narrative. It wasn't boring. I didn't feel like there were parts that, oh, you needed to cut that off, it was unnecessary. No, not at all. I couldn't find a flaw, especially being so short. So yeah, she went straight to the point. Everything happened. Everything that had to happen happened. Yeah. 3 stars. We're going faster, aren't we? Okay, now let's talk about the writing. Savi's writing is like listening to people talking. You get into this book and imagine if it were an audiobook. If it was an audiobook, I think I would have just felt like listening to a podcast because it is that honest. It's just people talking. That's how it feels. There is no shame. It doesn't have to be a literary masterpiece, especially concerning this kind of story where it's like 3 women in the workforce talking about the issue with this drug and their relationship with one another. Do you really need it to be masterfully written in poetic prose? Please, come on. You don't need to. And I congratulate you for that. You don't have to sound so snob. It was just having coffee with 3 girls. That's the definition of this book. Like, that's why I say that if my book was a person and Savi's book was a person, they were like high school students. My book would be like the weird exchange student that no one understands. Like, who the crap is this person? Where is this person from? And Savi's book would be the random popular kid that somehow opened the door to this exchange student and they become friends. It is that relatable. It's a book that I feel like, especially women, I don't know for men, but why not? I mean, I'm not going to be sexist here because it's just doesn't feel right. But because the leading characters are 3 females and the drug the drug in the story is exclusively taken by the female population, I feel like every woman could pick up this book and find it like something that, you know, gives food for thought, gives you a lot to, you know, ponder around. Like, it's men can pick it up too, why not? But yeah, it's very, I have to say, a man couldn't have written this book. I'm sorry. I can sense a very strong female energy out of this book, and in the writing, in the way that, you know, this focus on this topic of body positivity and gender equality regarding female, you know, regarding women. And like, there was a minor character, for example, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but there was a minor character who took the drug just to be taken seriously in the workplace. Yeah. There's a lot of discussion going on in the book. People can create entire debates based on the hypotheses of the what if of this drug being a thing in our world, actually. Like, if it were really a thing, I can already imagine the debate going on. Yeah. I didn't find a problem with the writing. I could differentiate between the characters. Like, I could. I don't know. I'm trying to find faults for it. Because I don't want to sound like I'm praising all the fellow AuthorTubers, but, well, I have been picking up the books that call me, and so far, so good. So far, I don't have to dish out a negative review, and I'm glad, because the moment I will have to do a negative review, I'm going to be like, I don't want to do this. But so far, I don't have to. And I feel like this book really deserves all the 4 stars that it's getting so far. The 5th star, though, here's where the very subjective thing, this is what comes from me as a reader. I cannot fault it, even though I said a billion times that I'm not a person that cares about these kind of topics, because I could be that person that wears the same clothes every day like a cartoon, and I don't care. I'm fine with that. So long as I like the style of my clothing, I'm fine with that. I don't care so much about my appearance because I'm asexual. I don't like anyone in that regard, and I don't care how they perceive me, and it's fine. So yeah, I don't find this book life-changing for me specifically. Although there are parts of the book, and I have heard other people say this, and I totally agree now that I have read it. This book is so quotable, so relatable. This book is like, you can make mugs and t-shirts with quotes from the book. I totally agree, because I totally see it. Like, what was it? That nothing is never in a gay way. That's for fellow lesbians. And you know what? Fellow aces too. Like, there were parts where I related so much with Amber. But let's confession time. This can only happen in a Savvy's book review. This can only happen in Savvy's book review. Yeah, dogs. That's my job. That's my small business. Come on, sit there. Sit there with them. Yeah? She don't like the camera. She's camera shy. She's camera shy. We have two models here. Pandora and Phoebe. So tired. Earlier this year, I spent some time in a hostel because moving from one place to another, that transition period between this place and the other, I was like, where the crap am I gonna stay? And I ended up in a hostel because life is crazy. Okay, there was a cute dude at the hostel. I was like, ooh, cutie. I found him quite nice and smart, and you know, that one of those, I like geeks. But not in that way. And I hope he never finds out. Because just like Amber, wondering, oh, she's probably straight. Oh, she doesn't like me in that way. Oh, she didn't mean it. She wasn't flirting. Oh, she didn't mean it that way. Like, you know, when Amber meets someone that she's interested in that romantic sense, and she's like, she's probably straight. She's not into girls. And well, I was the very same. I was at this hostel. I was like, oh, he cutie. And I was delighted to have conversations with him. And oh, he likes reading. And oh, let's talk about books and stuff. And we could go on forever. He's probably not ace. So we're not compatible. So let's just leave it at that. And only in that sentiment, I find queer representation in books relatable. You see, you don't have to be the same form of queers to relate. So yeah, nothing is ever in a gay way. Nothing is ever in an ace way. You see, like, yeah, I relate. I love it. And well, let's see, what else can I find? At the very end of the book, I don't want to spoil, but there is a character who never took the drug, who is quite big, you know, chubby, fat, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, fat. The woman is fat and she owns it. Like, she don't give a I love that. I have met big women like that character. I have met them. I have seen how they own it. They don't care. It's like, and they are a delight. So long as it doesn't affect their physical health, like so long as it doesn't give them problems with, you know, cardiovascular problems. I mean, fine. If they are okay being big and it doesn't affect them health-wise, then great. And I love to see that confidence in different women with different bodies. It has helped me so much to gain my own confidence with my imperfect body and my imperfect face and my imperfect eyes and my imperfect everything. So I loved to see that representation in the book as well. It's not that all women around that had a little bit of fat here and there were desperate to take the dog. No, not all of them. Some of them, yeah. Some of them just owned it. They were who they were. And it's more about how you feel about yourself and how you carry yourself around than how you look on the outside. That's one of the messages of this book, and I have to give it a star. Because even though it went around with all the stuff that I usually don't pay attention to, it made me think. And I love books that make me think. So I'm sorry, but this book gets a 5 stars out of me. Okay? Yes? You're happy with that? It gets a 5 stars. And I'm proud of Savi. Congratulations. And I can't wait for the sequel. She's writing a sequel. Get ready for that. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. I'm gonna keep on having my coffee and I'll see you in my next video, whichever is a book review or just a normal video. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.